Hey guys, how's it going? B-Dog here. So, I just kind of wanted to make a video just kind of going over the complete Freddy rework and just kind of really explain what is going on with it, my thoughts on it, all that good stuff. I also have a video that I recorded that covers the whole Dead by Daylight 3rd year anniversary stream. If you want to check that out, go ahead and click the card in the top right hand corner. So with that being said, let's go ahead and hop right into the video. Alright, so the first big change that was really introduced to Freddy, which is kind of a important change, at least for a lot of survivors, and that is essentially whenever he puts you asleep, there is no debuffs anymore on the action speed, so everything is at normal speed, barring, any other perks like Thanatophobia, Sloppy Butcher, so on and so forth, but there is no debuff anymore from what they said in the live stream, so there's no slow action speed. Everything is, from what I gather, is just normal speed. So that is kind of a huge plus. That was kind of an issue, especially when it came to doing skill checks, and it just made things a little bit miserable. Now, my opinion on it, I think it is a great thing. That way survivors aren't as annoyed, and there's just no reason to really, always be trying to miss a skill check and slowing the game down, kind of like how you used to be able to with the current Freddy we have now. But that's kind of the first thing that really stuck out with me, was kind of how there's no more debuffs with any action speeds, and I just thought that was kind of a neat thing that they went ahead and changed it and made it a little bit easier on survivors. And let's be honest, it was annoying as hell. I'm sorry if you are a Freddy main, there was no fun in that. You were just missing skill checks just to wake up, and everything was just extremely slow. So, with that out of the way, let's go into the second topic I would like to talk about. The second thing that I would like to talk about, which I think is a really good thing for Freddy, is whenever you are put to sleep, essentially you will kind of phase in and out, very similar to the spirit. So when a Freddy gets within a certain distance of you, you can see him, but when you're further away, he becomes invisible. So he kind of phases in and out of the real world slash dream world, if you will. And then also another big positive is, which I am so happy that they made this change, because it was a long time coming. It needed to happen from day one whenever they had Freddy, and finally it is here. So now, after you put them asleep, you do not have to wait 7 seconds to hit a survivor. Now you can just go get them. There's no weird, wait time to hit the survivor, and that's one thing for me. Like, I'm not a big Freddy, I don't play, Freddy that often, but that was one big drawback for me, was I thought it was kind of stupid to wait 7 seconds to hit a survivor, but now that is all taken care of, and thank goodness that that is a thing. And then just to kind of finish up this topic with, the phasing in and all the unique changes like that, the other change that I thought was kind of unique and was really cool is, so before you are asleep, essentially you will hear a terror radius, but when you're asleep, you will hear the lullaby, which I think is a really cool thing. And the reason why I think that is because, especially whenever you're playing Survivor, you're going to be thinking it's a normal killer. And then, I don't know, something just, at least to me, would be creepy to have the lullaby as Freddy is chasing me. Maybe that's just me. Let me know what you guys think about it. Like, I think that is a really cool change. That's one of my favorite changes about him. But there's a lot more changes that we are going to quickly run over, so let's go ahead and go to big change number 3. Alright, so the other big news for Freddy, and as far as his rework changes, which I think this is a big change that I believe needed to happen, and it makes the game go by a little bit quicker, and these changes are. So essentially, you can sabo a hook now, and if you miss a skill check, you are now waken up, which that is very good. I've always thought that since we've had Freddy, that if you miss a skill check while saboing a hook, you should wake up. I mean, I don't know how loud that is, but I would assume that would be enough to, wake someone up. So now we got that change. And then also another thing that they implemented that was really cool to me, and I love the idea behind it, is so around the map, whenever you play as Freddy, there are these things called dream clocks, which no matter what, they will always wake you up if you just walk up to it and interact with it. Now, I think this is really helpful because whenever everyone's asleep and there's no way to wake up, or you're not getting the skill checks you need, I can't tell you how many times that's happened to me whenever I'm playing against Freddy and everyone's asleep and I'm getting no skill check. So I think this is a huge bonus, and I think it's a great change just for the game itself, and it always keeps Freddy on his toes, similar to how the plague is whenever you go around looking at fountains after they've been cleansed. I think it's a fantastic change. Now let's go on to our last and final thing, which is going to be changes to his powers. So the last thing that I want to talk about with this Freddy rework is changes to his power and the whole Dream Demon ability. Now I think these are some really badass changes, so I'm just going to quickly go over them really quick. So obviously he can still put you asleep and whatnot, like that's fine and dandy, but he has two other abilities that they were briefly gone over with on the stream and all that, and I thought they were amazing, so let's quickly go over to what they are. So essentially he has an ability now that where you can deploy imaginary pallets once someone is asleep. Now I know that sounds kind of weird, but hear me out, this is really cool. I think it's amazing. It's great for mind gaming. So similar to the Doctor, he can place fake pallets there. But here's the thing. The survivors themselves can interact with the fake pallet, and once they drop it, it explodes into blood, essentially, just making a blood pile and all that fun stuff. And I think it's going to be really cool just to see how that goes over in game. And I think it's a great mind game thing, especially whenever you're in a chase and you think there's a pallet there and you're completely wrong and you've given Freddy a free hit. I think that's a really cool ability. And then his other ability, which they briefly touched upon, which I think is even better in my opinion. So it is called Dream Snares. Now this only works on sleeping survivors. They're in a weird way kind of like traps, and I believe they work similar to how the Trapper's traps work. Like I said, they ran over it very briefly, but they would get an effect that would slow them down and just have a bunch of lingering effects. And it's just really cool. And also, last but not least, he also has another ability that allows him to have a crazy amount of map control, and we don't have a name for the ability yet, but essentially he can teleport to generators now, which is really cool. I think that's a great buff for him. So from what I gather and what everyone's kind of been saying on the streams and whatnot, he can just teleport to a generator, but I believe he has to physically mark the generator before he can teleport to it. And in a weird way, he's kind of like the nurse with that ability, where he can just kind of warp where he wants as long as he has the generator marked. I think that's a fantastic idea. I think it is, again, a really badass concept. I think once all of this is implemented, it's going to be fucking amazing. I am just so excited just to see what they do with him and how they continue to build on Freddy. I hope this is the change that really makes him a feared killer and just a much better killer all around. All the signs seem to be there. You know, all the changes seem to be really good on paper. Let's see how well they can implement it, but hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. I had a lot of fun making this like I always do. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you dislike it, give it a thumbs down. If you really enjoyed the content, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I'll catch you guys later.